Welcome into the door of psychic experience. Ask and you will be given what you ask for. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. For everyone who asks receives. Anyone who seeks finds. If only you will knock, the door will open, and the truth within your higher spiritual self will be revealed to you. Come now with us and go where angels come, and you can too. Hello, San Diego residents. Thank you for deciding to allow us to come into your living room. We have a wonderful surprise for you. Don't go away, because you're going to learn and hear about things that you would never hear about anywhere else. This is a metaphysical, spiritual talk show, and I am Reverend Doris Horvath, the host of the show. And the show is being presented by the First Spiritualist Church in San Diego in the City Heights area, where angels come, and so can you. And any Sunday morning you can meet more angels there than you would normally. I'm going to tell you about another angel who lives in Harmony Grove, and there's so many things to tell you about what she does that I'm going to just have to read it to you. So bear with me, and you'll be happy you listen. Reverend Rosemarie Kerr is our guest today, and she was aware of her psychic powers since the age of 4. She had a dream that her uncle would burn in his house down with her aunt and cousins in it. Her uncle torched the house. She has done table tipping since 1966 and private reading since 1972. She was ordained in 1977, and as a medium she started working the Grove in 1984. Has held many developmental classes here through the years. She is a frequent lecturer and instructor. Her talks and workshops include churches, spiritual centers, public agencies, working with the police and sheriff's departments, prosecutors and defendants, associations with crime labs and district attorneys, and others. It helps to familiarize with the ways of working as a medium. Her status with these departments is forensic expert. A private reading in her Cypress home in the past led to the arrest of 3 people in Louisiana for murder. She testified at 2 trials against the killers, who each received life sentences. A resulting TV show, Inside Edition exclusive, won an Emmy for the Best Documentary. She played herself in the Story Plus TV shows, Psychic Detectives, and the BBC show Ministries on the Andre case. The Andre case is also in a book, Parapsychology, The Controversial Science by Richard S. Broughton, PhD director. A TV movie, The Baseball Bat Murder, another of her cases, was shown on Inside Edition exclusive and written in a true crime book, Blood Will Tell, by Joseph Bosco. This was a 6-year-old case she worked on, which brought 2 killers to justice. The book acknowledges Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association. The author stayed in a Grove cabin while writing the book. She constantly works with many cases of FBI, police, sheriff, law enforcement, and private individuals. Her work is throughout the USA and in many foreign countries, such as Canada, Italy, Guatemala, Panama, Ireland, plus local departments. Her Louisiana cops call her the Rev. Reverend Rosemarie Kerr gives all credit for all the work she does to those in spirit who work through her. She is a very blessed person with her spiritual guides. Reverend Rosemarie Kerr has served on the board of the Harmony Grove Association for 10 years in all capacity. She is currently the president of the association. Reverend Rosemarie has been on our TV show before, And it's just astounding how much she has done since I saw her the last time on the last television show in between my times of meeting her at Harmony Grove. So is it okay if we have you say hello to the audience now?
Oh, I would love to say hello to the audience, to everyone out there.
All right.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you. We're very fortunate you had time to squeeze in for us. Okay. I'm going to ask some questions because that's the best way for us to find out what you do so the audience will know what's going on here with you. First of all, you signed on as a consultant of a TV production company last year. Can you tell us a little bit about that company?
I signed on a production company that runs out of Virginia. They do the FBI series, The SEALs, New Detectives, and other shows. And as a consultant, I work with them behind the scenes. And it's a very, very interesting job with them. The other thing, working with them as a consultant, they have also made a promo, or what we would call, which is named Psychic Investigators, and this is a series that is supposed to go on full time, and it concerns many of the cases that I have worked. So it would be series on the life works and the cases I worked. So what we have out there is the promo to be picked up.
That's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see it. You have a friend that works on TV, too. Would you like to show a picture of him?
Yes.
We've all seen him.
This gentleman is Tim Reed, and as you can see, he was the Vulcan on the Star Trek series. And what he did is he was, when we did the promo for the Investigator series, he was the narrator. And let me tell you, he is one heck of a wonderful guy, and he believes in our work. And I thought that was outstanding. So yes, very wonderful person to work with.
Oh, good for him. I thought there was something very special about him. Are you involved in anything on television at this time, right now?
I have just signed on another contract, and if it's picked up, it would be a new series out, a reality series. So I have my fingers crossed. We're just waiting to see if the movie star signs on the dotted line. So I'm on pins and needles.
Okay. Is this like a pilot promo for a new TV series called Psychic Investigators?
That was the one that I did with Tim Reed. That was the pilot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You do so many things, I'm getting confused.
I keep busy.
I'm sure you are. Oh, where was the TV pilot filmed, and who is the narrator?
Well, Tim Russ was the narrator, and it was filmed in New Orleans, and also filmed out here in California, part of it in my son's house for some of the work, because the man who was murdered on one of the cases, his sister lives out here in California.
Oh.
So they filmed it on both coasts.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. You also mentioned being approached by Court TV. What is happening with that?
I have 4 different production companies that want me on Court TV, but right at this point, I signed a contract that I wouldn't work with them while I'm in with the other production company. But I'm hoping that that door will stay opened. So I'm very, very fortunate.
At this rate, you could be working 20 hours a day.
That's okay. I love my work.
Okay. So are there new projects that you're working on now that will be on television soon?
And again, those are the ones that are in the works that I've just gotten in, and we're hoping that they will go through. I just have to wait.
Okay. You also teach workshops, and you have a very interesting book that you have brought with you. Could you tell us a little bit about this and hold it up for the audience to see what it is?
Okay. This book is called Firestorm, and it was written by Anne Druffel. Now, this lady I went to Ireland with and did a lot of work, and I worked with her on this manuscript, and it was done 4 years ago. And she brought me a copy of this book a couple of months ago, and I told her I was so enthused. I love the color, And it has the trees, and this is actual picture of a firestorm going on in the state of Arizona.
Oh, really?
And I love the name because I have many people in my home in the fire department, my husband too. And when I saw the book, I was so enthused, and I couldn't get over it. And she told me, she says, "You don't remember, do you?" I says, "Remember what?" She says, 4 years ago in a reading, you gave me the name of the book, you gave me the background picture, and when I told my the man that was doing the book, the publisher, he thought it was great. So I have a book out, but I'm just the title and the cover.
Okay. What about this other magazine, Kindred Spirits, from England?
This is from England, and this one here somebody told me they saw on a website, and I sent for it, and it has a wonderful article in here by Stephen Schwartz, and he writes a lot of articles on the work that I do that's on the web and everything else. So it has a wonderful write-up on the work that we do, which is so very, very important. So it's not just in the States. This work goes all over.
Okay. Now, you're on page 25 and 26 in that magazine. I remember when I first had you on the first television show, you were in the Intuition magazine in a write-up, too.
Well, a lot of times I don't know where I am. And I say that literally because a lady called me once and she says, "I didn't expect to find you at home in Escondido." And when I asked her why not, she says, "Because you're out here in the newspaper." And I says, "Where are you calling from?" And she was calling from Missouri. I says, "No, I'm not there, I'm home." She says, "But the newspaper says you're out here." So I get around, I guess.
Well, evidently a lot of people in your family get around. What about your wonderful picture of the Indian spirit that you have with you? He is just absolutely wonderful spirit here.
This is a picture of Chief Joseph. Chief Joseph is from the Nespeth Indians, and in Harmony Grove Church we have his portrait on one of the walls because he's one of the spiritual beings that we work with. And strangely enough, my grandson, Christopher, who's 12 years old, this Chief Joseph is his great-great-grandfather.
Oh, all right.
So my grandson is blessed so much with a lot of the spiritual gifts that I've been blessed with.
That's a very powerful spirit to work with. Well, back to the psychic detective work that you do, you're usually involved in a variety of police cases. Can you share some of these with us that are going on for the last year? And how about maybe the movie star Diane Ladd's missing niece, for instance?
I worked with Miss Diane Ladd last year. Her niece was missing from a different state. And when she called me, I've worked with Miss Ladd many times, and she called me and we did a lot of extensive work over the phone. And before I go into the work, I want to say that a lot of people don't understand some of the movie stars, but Miss Ladd happens to be a very spiritual person. Before we started working and after we would finish each conversation, she would do a special prayer. So that spirit would come in and do the work. This is something you will not see her with TV. But her niece was missing. And a long story short, we found out where her niece's vehicle had gone down an incline and we felt water around her. And they did find her. Her car went off a bridge into the water. Unfortunately, it was too late.
Oh, my.
But again, a lot of work with Miss Ladd. And at that time, she was doing a TV series also that had to do with the psychic field. Stephen King's work.
Okay. What about the pizza delivery boy that there was a case in Hammond, Louisiana, the murder in 1998? You investigated that too?
The pizza delivery boy, his name is Eric. He was 16 years old, and it's very close to my heart because he reminds me of my youngest son. And I did get a call from Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Department in Louisiana from the captain there saying his nephew was missing. He was murdered. He was murdered horribly.
Oh, dear.
They're just coming to trial now, and we were able to, when working the case, I did go out in person, find numerous names of some of the killers and where they lived. The trial is on now. 2 of them have already been convicted to life. 1 is on trial now, and 2 more come to trial. So 6 years later, he is finally being avenged. And it was horrific what they did to this little boy for a few dollars.
Were you able to see the killers through the victim's eyes?
Yes. You know how I work.
Yes, you told me that. It's very amazing how you work.
When I went out there, that's the first thing his uncle asked me. He says, "Can you see them?" And I said, "Yes." I'm looking through Eric's eyes, and so I could describe what they look like. Spirit also gave me names, and one of the names, the way he gave it to me, I started singing that song, Bad, Bad Leroy Brown. Well, one of the last names is Brown.
Oh,
and
right.
When I do go and look through the eyes of those who have been murdered, it gives us all the information. But emotionally, it's very, very hard to do.
I imagine it's very hard for you personally to experience
Well,
that.
my husband was with me when we went to the place where they found his body. And when I was working with Eric, the last thing that I heard him say is, "Mom." And that was rough. It was very, very rough.
My goodness. What about the missing San Marcos University student, Alex?
Alex was missing from San Marcos last spring. He went to start school and he never showed up. And his mother happens to be the neighbor of Elise Daigle, whose brother was originally killed, the big case that I worked on. And they called me for information. We got a lot of information on Alex and how he was despondent. He was upset, and his mother and father thought that he was in the best of moods, but he wasn't. During the reading, when I was looking out of Alex's eyes, I explained on the tape that I was high up in the trees in Big Bear. And the next day I called Elise and I said, "You know, I've come into Alex's vibration again. He's in the trees in Big Bear," I says, "but now he's dehydrated."
Oh, my.
And I got a call that night from his mother, and I didn't want to pick up the phone, and she said they found Alex. He was in the trees. He hung himself from a large pine, and he was dehydrated.
Oh, dear.
And this was going on during my youngest son's wedding, so while I was doing the wedding, we were also emotionally involved with this family, and it's terrible what the families go through. It's very hard for them.
Oh, they most likely don't ever get over it.
No.
What about the state case call from Virginia about the murder that occurred in Connecticut? A call from Dr. Bob, a TV and radio host from Virginia?
Dr. Bob is a TV and radio host in Virginia, and I don't know Dr. Bob, or didn't, until I got a call from Ann Druffel, who wrote the book, and she said a friend of hers has a friend that was murdered, could I help? Well, the murder took place in Connecticut, and this man was working with nuclear fusion, and they were kind of concerned on his murder and how it happened. And during the reading, what came in when his vibration came in, he explained how it was done, who did it, and all that. But I was able also to tell the family that the police had enough information that they would be picking up the killer pretty soon, which they did. But during the reading, when he came in, he asked, please, that the medium give a message to his wife. And his message was to tell his wife, I give her one red rose.
Oh.
And I didn't understand it, but I gave that. And Dr. Bob called me back the next day, and he said, I gave that message to his wife, and she said that when they were married, her wedding bouquet consisted of one red rose that her husband had given her. So she knew he had come in and made the connection, and that was what that whole reading was about.
That makes it very, very accurate.
Yeah.
That is really wonderful.
And when I was doing the reading with him, he was arguing with me. This gentleman with the nuclear, yes, he says, I don't know what you do, and he was talking so fast I couldn't keep up with him, and he's giving me equations and stuff that I had no idea what I was talking about. And he goes, lady, I don't know what you do, but since you're doing it, then give my wife this message.
Okay.
Yes, so it was that tape is really something different from what I'm used to doing.
Very interesting. Are you featured in any new books besides the magazine that we had over here, The Kindred Spirits?
No, that would be that one, and of course this, but I do have a book in the works. And
are you writing it?
Yeah, and the lady that's co-authoring with me, her husband is quite famous. He has Pulitzer Prizes, so We have been working on it, so I can't wait till that gets finished.
Okay.
It's a fun project.
What about the 200-year-old case that you're working on with Anne Druffel?
That's the one in Ireland where we go back 200 years to the man whose graves we were looking for.
Oh, I see.
And it's still an ongoing, and every year she asks me to go back to Ireland with her, and I've been kind of holding off a bit. But maybe next year I'll take it. It's a 9.5-hour flight.
That's a big trip for you.
It's a long flight. I would like to do like the Vulcans can, beam me up, Scotty.
Yes,
then
wouldn't that be nice?
then I'll go. So I have that on hold right now.
Well, I guess I have one last question, which probably everybody in the TV audience would like to know too. Does anyone in your family, children, have the gift that you have from spirit that you have? Do they like you?
Yes, my grandson, whose great-grandfather is Chief Joseph, when he was a toddler, 3 years old, we were out with his mother in the car, and this little boy in the back seat in the car seat says, "Mommy, you're going to get a ticket here, you're going too fast." And his mother says, "No, I'm not." The next day, at the exact spot, she got a ticket.
Oh.
This is from a toddler. And my son, Joe, who's a captain in the Orange County Fire Department, he was at quite a large house fire. And the chief told everybody, don't go in, it was burning too bad, and everybody was out. And he told me, he says, "Mom, I felt it in my guts, there was someone else there." And he grabbed a buddy, and they went up to the top floor through the flames, and they found a man on the floor. And he says it's a wonder they didn't kill him as they bounced him down the stairs and got out. But they saved his life. And he says, "Mom, I just felt it." So yes, all my children have the gift.
So it runs in the family.
I think it does. I'm very happy with it.
You think it has something to do with DNA?
You know, I have no idea, and I've never gone and looked at that question.
Okay.
Maybe it does.
Well, I understand that some families, their DNA is like that for the whole family. And other families, maybe it doesn't exist at all. Maybe there's just one person. But I was going to ask you something. When there's an important case going on, like some of the ones that are going on in San Diego right now, do you call them up and ask them if you can help?
Never. Unless my guides specifically tell me I'm to get involved, I wait until I get a call. And normally I'm called if they go through the FBI or some of the people I work with. And I am involved in quite a high controversial case in San Diego now, but it's always behind the scenes, not till after the fact and the work is done will anybody even know I'm there. That's the only way to do the work. But no, unless I'm specifically called or I'm told, I will never call and say, "Here I am." That's not how my guides work.
I see. The case that's going on right now, is it being mentioned on television and you're just working on it in the background?
Yeah.
I see.
A lot of the times I'm hiding in when the news people come in. I'm hiding all over. My husband has hid with me. We've hidden in bathrooms. We've hidden in closets. We've hidden on the steps. We've gone in through the security offices, and we've gone inside when they do the laundry. And in one case, we were on the back of a police cruiser going down the mountains as the TV cameras was following us. So we have a lot of excitement.
It sure sounds like it.
A lot of excitement.
Oh, I never thought about that part of it.
Oh, yeah, we do. We do.
Oh, for goodness sakes. You have a very, very interesting life.
I really do. I love my work, and I'm very happy that my family accepts it, which is very important, so that they allow me to do the work, which is very important.
So you can talk about whenever you want to with your family.
Yes.
Of course, where you live, you can talk about anyone there, too.
Anyone there, too. Yes.
Well, I'm so happy you could come on our show today in such short notice, because I never know for sure when I call you up if you're going to answer the phone because you're so busy. So that's why I waited until you did a lecture in our church.
Well, I'm glad to be here. A lot of the times the work that I do, I don't have to go out to that state or that city. I will just sit in my house, the same as the work with Ireland, just sit there and do the work. So it saves me a lot of steps. And it saves me getting on planes.
Well, that was nice. The BBC came over and did a short film on you, too.
Oh, yes. That mystery series was very neat. And we had a lot of fun with all the producers and the workers, and they were great. And the young lady who was one of the producers, she hired a cab, and we said, "We thought you had a car." She says, "Yes, but I don't know how to drive on the other side of the street, so it stays in the garage here."
Oh.
So we had a ball with them, especially as they try to understand us, and we try to understand them.
Oh, that's just really amazing. Well, we're going to send some angels for you for your new TV show.
Thank you
we
so
want it
much.
to happen.
Thank you so much.
We're just about ready to end the show right now. And I want to thank our crew for working with us today. And I want to thank you and your husband for coming over here. It's a long trip. And we're going to send you angels to go back in your car with you on the way back.
We will gladly take that.
Because
Thank you so much.
the world needs you so much. You're such a special spirit and angel. We're so happy that you could be with us. And for those of you in the audience, if you want to know more about Reverend Rosemarie Kerr, feel at ease to call the church. The phone number is going to be given at the end of the show. Get some paper and a pencil so you can write down the phone number that's going to be there for you to see. Thank you for watching. God bless.